Hey everyone, it's the 4-Gun Guy. I'm up here at the range. It's a hot day, and I just happen to have 3 rifles with me that I'm doing some reviews on various things, but they each have a different scope and a different level of scope. So I thought today, let's look through these things. Let's talk briefly about each one, even though I'm coming out with some reviews on each one of these individually, detailed reviews. I just wanted you to see, when I'm talking about reticles and clarity and all that stuff, what it really looks like side by side. So if you're ready to go, let's get to it. Well, we have different price ranges here, okay? So we're starting here on the right with a Discovery ED PRS Gen II, which is $400. This scope's $400. Then we've got the Burris XTR Pro, which I just purchased. I'm in the middle of a review on this, by the way. And this is roughly $2,000. You could probably get it on sale for $1,800 if you wanted to. And then we've got the Vortex Razor Gen III, which is retailing now for, I don't know, $4,500, something like that. So look, 3 different levels here. Let's kind of go through each one. I'm not going to get detailed because I am doing reviews on each one here in a little bit. But let's get behind them. I got the trigger cam set up. We'll take some views through them, look at the different reticles, see how clear they are. Not that the trigger cam's going to pick all that up that much, but you'll hear from me the differences. Yeah, and then we'll have some final thoughts. All right, let's start with the Discovery optics. So I'm going to fire this trigger cam up, and let's just look through this scope. Get my bag here. All right, I won't make you nauseous, so I'll turn it on right now. So I'm at 20 power. I'll start each one of these at 20 power. That's target Bravo. I want to say that's about 450 yards out. If we go here along the creek or the water here, there's target November, target Unicorn that I was just shooting at a little bit ago, and I missed every shot because I haven't zeroed this scope yet. I just brought it out here. Let's see if we come over here. Target, I think that's target Z, and that is, I think that's pretty close, 4 something. Now, let's swing around and go out to some plate racks here. This is 550 yards at 20, 650 and 750 at 20. And while we're out here, let's talk about the reticle. I love this Discovery reticle. They kind of, when we get to the Gen III, you'll see they kind of copied it, but I think they did some things to it that I really like. Number one, numbering starts at 2. On the 1 mil mark, it is very noticeable that it is the 1 mil, so you're not searching for it. And it does have that 1/2 mil mark that I love in all my scopes. So that's 20 power. Let's take this thing up to 25 power, which is as far as it goes. This is 25 power. I'll mess with the parallax a little bit. And there we are. So now let me just settle down here and leave this alone for a second. And we can kind of see what this looks like. Good edge clarity as far as I can see. I don't know if this video is going to do this justice. I'm hoping it does. It looks a little blurry on my phone. I hope it's not. But I've got to tell you, for $400, this is a nice scope. And if we come all the way out, let's come out to about, I don't know, 10 or so. I can still see the reticle. I could use it if I had to. But if we look off into the distance, I've got the Mirage. Yeah, this is a good looking scope. I like it. From a functional perspective, I'm going to turn this off, stop recording. Functional perspective, I've done some, in the review I talk about the turrets, very tactile, very big. I like that on them. It's got good parallax. Everything is knurled. So overall, I really like this scope. again, for $400. Okay, now we're behind the Burris, so let's see what this looks like. Again, I'm going to start off at 20. We're going to come onto this U here, and glass is brighter than the Discovery. I mean, you know, I just have to say, now the sun has come out. Sun was back a little bit during the Discovery viewing. But again, I like this reticle. It does not have the 1/2 mil mark, but it has the 2 and the 4/10 markings that are up, which makes that kind of pop. It has the 1 mil marking, but it's not as noticeable, right, as in that Discovery. But I do like this reticle. I wasn't sure I was going to like it, but I like it a lot. Let's come over to these other targets. We are at 20 again. This is that target we looked at before. Let's come over here. There's November. Over here, I think we're going to hit Bravo here in a second. There's Bravo. Remember we looked at those. And now let's kind of come out here. I'm going to start running out of room here, but let's come out here. There's the 550 rack in the weeds. The 650 and the 750 rack. Again, let me adjust the parallax here because I think I need to adjust a little bit. There we go. Pretty clear from what I can see. I think it's picking it up on the deal. And now let's come up to, now this one goes to 30 power. So I'm up at 30 now. It's interesting that I can see the individual impacts on those plates. You really get a good look at this reticle now. I like how clean it is. And that center cross, as you can see, even at high magnification on this small target, I think those are 1 MOA targets on that rack. So, you know, it doesn't cover that at all. And then if we come back to our unicorn target here, let's see if we can. Try not to make you too dizzy here. There we are. That's at 30 power. Yeah, I think this looks good. I can see the waves in the water, the blades of grass. It all looks good. And as far as this scope goes, when I get to the review, I'll talk about the fact that yes, it's a capped windage, but you can take that off and it's easy. And the windage has a nice knob on there. It has 3 different turrets. They're very tactile turrets with a 0 stop. They're not locking turrets. Neither are the turrets on the Discovery. And then the parallax and the zoom are very knurled and very smooth. So that's the Burris. Let's go ahead and move on to the Razor Gen III. All right, and finally the Razor Gen III, which is on my center fire competition gas gun. So this is a Seekins SP10, chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. And I love this rifle. I've been shooting it today and it's just awesome. So let's get down here and see what we see. So again, this is the Razor Gen III. This is, let me get to 20 power like the rest of them. That's 20 power on the unicorn target. And really clear. I mean, this is very clear. I can see the blades of grass really good with this scope. I love the reticle. I do wish they had done what Discovery had done at the 1 mil mark and kind of put a gap there. That's very clever of Discovery. But I do like the 1/2 mil marking on the Razor Gen III. That's been one of the biggest things with this reticle that I've loved. And I love the fact that at the 1 mil elevation, you have the branch that goes out to 2 mils on either side of it. So I really like that about this scope. So there's unicorn. let's come over to our other target here in the tree, or near the tree. That was that. I can see the impacts. Let's come out to, I think, what is it, Bravo, which is right there. There's Bravo. This is 20 power. Clear, clear. Now remember, guys, I had a Zico, or I had like 4 Zicos. I just got rid of them because I just don't need that much scope anymore. Here's the 55 rack that we were looking at before. Very clear. It's hidden by the grass, but it's still clear. I'm running out of table here. Here's the 65 and 75 racks. I don't think I need to adjust the parallax, but I'll try. There it is. Again, individual impacts on those things. And now let's go to, this goes to 35 power. Now here's the problem. My trigger cam only likes to go to about 20 something power, and you can see it starts to, I start to lose that eye box with this thing, and I have it set up properly. So just something the trigger cam doesn't like. But I can say that, I'll come back to our unicorn here. I can say that this scope is everything I need in a competition scope for my level. And there's a lot of guys, really, really good shooters that are shooting these things. So it's a really good scope. Turret-wise, again, it has both locking and zero turret, elevation turret, and a locking windage turret. Everything is smooth on this scope. The zoom, the turrets, the parallax, everything is very smooth. I just love these scopes. The toolless zero is a really good feature. The Burris has an interesting zero, which I'm still kind of trying to figure out. The Discovery is just an easy old school zeroing with a zero stop in it. So they all have zero stops. But yeah, so I tell you what, let's turn this off and let's talk about, just have some final thoughts here. All right, well, hopefully a fairly short video. As I said, I just had them up here and I thought, why aren't you gonna do a video on this? Look, each of these scopes has their purpose in PRS, in my opinion. Let's start with the Discovery. I think if you're just getting started, I think if you have a kid who's just getting started, I think the Discovery offers a lot for $400. And I think you can even get it on sale for under that. It's got really good glass. It's ED glass. That glass is from Japan, so it's Japanese glass. The turrets are so nice. I can't say enough about the turrets on that thing. Numbering is big. The knurling is nice. The parallax is easy. The zoom is easy. Everything about that scope is really, really good. I think you could get that for PRS, run it your first 1-2 years even, and be very happy with it. And I think you could run that in both rimfire and or centerfire. I really do. I think it'll hold up to it. So I think it's a good scope. The Burris XTR, I'm going to be honest with you. Now, I bought that with my own money, and the verdict's still out on this scope. I'm doing an in-depth review on it. I love the glass. I think it's very clear. I love the turrets. I wish they had had not a capped windage turret. If you're going to make something for PRS and you're calling it PRS, then you should know what PRS needs, and PRS needs not a capped turret. But anyway, just take the cap off and you can adjust the windage. You'll probably hear that in my review. Everything else about this scope is really, really good. I like the glass. Glass is, I think it's a little brighter than the Discovery, which it better be. It's 5 times the cost of the Discovery, 4 to 5 times. So it better be a little better glass-wise. But I don't know. I like it. I think you could look at the other scopes in this range, like the Athlons, and maybe even some of the Vortexes, and find something that you might like. I really like the reticle on this, and reticles are big with me, so that's why I went with this scope. I'm going to shoot it a few matches, and then I'll do another review on it and tell you how I like it. So I think the Burris XTR Pro is a really good scope. I would say it should be more in the $1,500 range, not the $2,000 range, but that's just me. And now let's move on to the Vortex Razor Gen III. Again, I just love Vortex. I know some people don't care for them. I've never had issues that haven't been resolved, and the issues have been me, not with the Vortex scope. Every time I've sent something in because I've dropped it on the ground and messed it up, like a red dot or a scope or something like that, I've either gotten a new one back or a rebuilt scope that works perfectly. So I'm a Vortex guy. This scope, I did an initial review on this, which was not favorable because to me, they just kind of threw this into the market with mushy turrets. The parallax sucked. There were some things wrong with it. They have since, over the past year and a half, basically, redone all that. And this is one of their newer models of the Gen 3. And I've been very, very happy with this scope. I have it on this one and my 6BRA bolt gun for competition, and they are suiting me just fine. I love the turrets on these scopes. I don't necessarily care if they're locking anymore or not. In fact, most of the guys I know are buying the rings so the turret doesn't lock. Whatever, I just leave it up. But the knurling, the clicks themselves are very tactile on everything on the scope. And again, this is my favorite reticle of all reticles, period, end of story. I love this EBR-7C or 7D reticle that's in these Razor Gen 3s. So there you have it. I would, again, if I were starting in PRS, I wouldn't hesitate getting something like the Discovery because of the reticle and because of everything it has on it. Compare this $400 scope to other scopes in that price range at $400 to $600. They don't have everything this thing has. I just think it's a good beginner scope. And again, I don't get anything for saying that, guys, nothing. I just think it's a good beginner scope. Made in China? Yeah, I don't care. Just for something to start off with in PRS, why not? The Burris, or this class of scopes, I think would be great if you've been shooting that for a year, shooting the Discovery for a year or so, and you've gotten more into it, and maybe you want something that next step up. I think that's great to have. And of course, Razor Gen 3 to me is near the top of the summit. As I said, then you get into the Zecos and the other types of the really high-end scopes, which if you're younger and your eyes are great, they're fantastic for you. So there you have it. Just thought I'd throw this one in. I hope you enjoyed it. 3 different scopes, 3 different price levels, and I think they each have their place in PRS. Got a lot going on. Do me a favor, look in the description below, a lot of stuff, and you'll see that I've broken things down into playlists so you can look at other optics reviews, rifle reviews, accessories, reloading, and all that stuff. And then I've got reviews coming out, as I said, on all 3 of these scopes and some other stuff. So hey, thanks again for watching, guys. And until next time, shoot straight.